I'd especially like to thank the Peaceful Warriors Project for celebrating the stories, the important stories, and creative power of our veterans. Tonight we're remembering a legend, Allan Barnes. He served in Vietnam, came home to Detroit, and became an American jazz legend.
I wouldn't trade growing up in Detroit and in Michigan for anything in the world, because I had a chance to be around great music, always surrounded by music. And when I was in high school, I could go within, 2-mile radius and see 3 great jazz bands just in my neighborhood. Now, being a musician, I think that just gives me an edge anywhere I go. I appreciate it. It's a unique experience.
As you may know, in 1987, House Resolution 57 declared jazz a rare and valuable national American treasure. The resolution was introduced by Detroit's own Representative John Conyers, a champion of Detroit and jazz for many decades. Now, I've always been of the mind that if jazz is a rare and valuable national American treasure, surely the musicians that make the music we call jazz are national treasures as well. Many of those musicians hail from Detroit, and we are here tonight to salute one of our rare and valuable local treasures, Allan Barnes. Whether it was the big sounds of his tenor sax, the sweet melodies of his soprano sax, the soulful sounds of his flute, and every now and then he'd even give you some clarinet, Allan will forever be connected to Detroit and the great music of this city, forming the soundtrack of an era that lives fondly in the hearts and minds of people around the world. In addition to being a gifted musician, Allan Barnes was a veteran of the Vietnam conflict. Throughout his life, Allan recognized the healing power of music, music's ability to bridge gaps. One of the projects Allan was working on was something dear to his heart, the Peaceful Warriors Project, which he co-founded.
I used to see Allan all the time, and we used to see each other in passing, and until recently we started playing together, and it's been really, really a good thing, because he has that big tenor sound, and we play in tune together, we play like one when we play in the melodies, and we just all the energy, the energy that he has on the stage. It's a wonderful thing.
It is such a treat playing with Allan Barnes. He is a sublime musician and player. He is a lovely human being, and at the same time, he's very demanding. He's demanding on stage. He wants everybody to bring out their best, so you're always kind of there to bring your best to the music. I love playing with him. It's a joy.
Touches my foolish heart. Say you're lovely, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please imagine? 'Cause I love you and the way you look tonight.
Allan is full of fire, and I consider myself a fiery drummer too. Well, actually, I'm gonna tell you, if you live in Detroit, all the musicians I've noticed in this great city has this fire, this energy that I have not seen anywhere else. And Allan exhibits that passion, and it comes out through the music. We also have a nice conversations together within the music. So it's just a lot of fun playing with him.
Playing with Allan is a lot of fun. It really brings me back to the 1960s foundation jazz playing that I really grew up listening to. And so it takes me back to a time where it makes me smile just to think about it.
Playing with Allan Barnes is a great experience. We've done this a few times before, and the thing I like about Allan is he's got a great sound. He's accessible as a person, meaning that he's easy to play with, and you know it's always going to be a great time. He plays jazz standards that everyone will recognize and that everyone will enjoy, and including the band. If we're not having fun, then something's wrong. And I know when Allan's here, we're always going to have some fun.
Just the way, just the way you look tonight.
I was with the 4th Infantry Division, and I was in the headquarters company band. But inside of that headquarters company band, we had a group called Hard Times that was actually formed by the guy that I replaced in Vietnam. His name was Henry Threadgill. He's a very famous alto saxophone player who lives in France right now. But anyway, Henry Threadgill started this group called Hard Times, and it was another saxophone player named Willie Driffin playing tenor, Mike Campbell playing bass, and a guy named Ken Pacelli playing drums. So there was just 4 pieces, nothing that you had to plug in or anything like that. So we got a chance to go and play for GIs way out in the field where you never would see Bob Hope or anything like that. So anytime that you know, they would ask us if we wanted to go play, we would always accept, because they would be so grateful that anybody would just come out there to play for them, at a base camp. So we enjoyed what we did, So I'm saying that was one of the good parts about being in Vietnam, that the soldiers really appreciated the music.
Good evening to all the friends and family of Allan Barnes and all the wonderful veterans and families who are attending tonight. Our nation must keep the promises we've made to our veterans, all of them, whether it's healthcare, education, a chance at a good job, or the military recognition they've earned. Beyond that, we have a duty to honor them, remember them, and share their stories and their songs. That's what the Peaceful Warriors Project is all about. And thank all of you for coming out tonight to celebrate the creative genius of Allan Barnes and our nation's veterans.
Trumpeter and band leader Racy Biggs is an original member of the Peaceful Warriors Project and is here tonight playing the music of U.S. veterans Donald Byrd, Dave Brubeck, Clark Terry, Irving Berlin, Wayne Shorter, and John Coltrane. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Racy Biggs.
Meeting Allan was like actually meeting a star, because he had a reputation in the city as well. And he was a few years older than me, so we always looked up to him. If I tell the other saxophone player in the group, in my group, hey, I'm going to see Allan, and it was like, wow, you got a chance to talk to Allan. Allan was a wonderful, beautiful person. And I think him being a veteran kind of gave him a different perspective on life, period. He was always a giving person already, but I think it kind of focused him in on helping the generations that are behind him and making sure they had the tools to go forward and to encourage them. Because he was always encouraging people, as I say, and especially the youth. And in the midst of it, I'm gonna make people aware of what my connection with the service as well, and how it can shape you to be a better person. So Allan played I think he played a very good part in identifying, tying all of the service and the musicians and bringing them up into one ball here. And that ball is the Peaceful Warriors Project. He was a very important person, and I think keeping his legacy alive as to all the things, all the mentorship he had, all of the energy that he put into the Peaceful Warriors and all the different schools that he touched. He really touched a lot of people. You know, he left his impact here. It's very important to keep his legacy alive, keep talking about the things that he's done. He was a great teacher. He was a great innovator. He was good at getting people together and drawing out good things out of them that they didn't know they had in it. But he could see it, and he knew how to do it. He was one of those kind of gifted guys.
Might be messing with my horn again.
Bring the valve up.
You too. Everybody got jokes, huh? I know they've been messing with my horn. I turn my head to do things to my horn, make me think I'm crazy. That's all right. One of these days.
And you just had to mark your calendar for the first Saturday of the month when Allan was a featured artist at Baker's Keyboard Lounge. Every first Saturday, Allan was there with his band Primetime, who, by the way, are preserving his legacy and continue to perform first Saturdays at Baker's. Tonight they are here to salute Allan Barnes. Ladies and gentlemen, Primetime.
I think Allan had fundamental basics and standards. He wasn't going to do anything for free unless it was for a really good cause. He did several gigs that he basically told me, this is for a school, or this is for an after-school program or children or something, and we're just going to do it. But if it was something organized that had a dollar value attached, he made sure that he was fairly compensated. But if he wanted to do it, he wouldn't hit you over the head, you know. But if he didn't want to do something, he would hit you over the head. He said, you got to value your time, you got to value your gift, and you got to value all the years you put in to hone your craft. He would take opportunities to practice in various places, and if that happened to be on a park bench or in front of a ball game or wherever, you know, he would just, he would find his way to get what he needed out of his system and to practice and respect his craft wherever. And he wasn't limited by where he would do that. Allan was a collection of his entire life and his entire understanding of humanity. And he was a very humane individual who believed in, you don't get to hold on to everything and just keep it to yourself. He believed that you could best serve humanity by passing on what you've learned and passing on what's been passed to you. And that's what I got most out of my friendship with him for almost a decade. I miss him terribly. It's a time of the year that kind of strikes a chord with me most times, but I'm glad to be talking about it because it's important for me to keep his memory alive.
Allan produced and hosted Jazzland, a program on PBS. You see, Allan was more than a musician. He was a broadcaster and educator as well. We searched through our archives and found this clip of Allan and Dr. Billy Taylor.
Sitting in has a deep history in jazz. Improvisation is the cornerstone of the music. Recently, when Dr. Billy Taylor was on tour in Michigan, I got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to jam with a legendary jazz icon.
I've lived through much of the history of jazz, and what I try to do is to give them personal references. I mean, when I talk about Sidney Bechet, I heard Sidney Bechet, and I had the honor of sitting into his group many years ago, and many musicians that Louis Armstrong, people that I looked up to, and who were the fountainheads from which all the music we play came. I can talk about them in the first person. And so that's what I try to share with young people, the fact that it is a continuum. I mean, the things that Bechet did, the things that Louis Armstrong did, things that King Oliver and many of the early pioneers of the music did, have paved the way for what I do at the piano, what you do on the saxophone, and what other people are doing today. Yeah, all right.
It all started with native Detroiter Donaldson Toussaint L'Ouverture Byrd II, better known as Donald Byrd. Touring the world while continuing his commitment to the world of education as a professor at Howard University, Donald Byrd changed the world of jazz with his crossover album, Blackbird. From playing sold-out clubs to playing sold-out stadiums, this new form of music soared, especially when 5 students in his band spread their musical wings and became the Blackbirds. And the rest, as they say, is history. Here tonight at the Charles H. Wright Museum of African American History is a piece of history. Ladies and gentlemen, the Blackbirds have come to town to honor an original member of the Blackbirds, Allan C. Barnes. Are you ready? Because here they are, the world famous Blackbirds.
I never really met Donald until I got to Howard University. Donald was told by one of my uncles that, that I played the saxophone. My uncle expressed to me that I should get in touch with Donald, which I did, and he sent me an application to Howard University. I started Howard like the last week in August, and we have the freshman orientation at Howard University, and so this is the very first time Donald's actually hearing me play, so I asked him, is it okay if I sit in? He said, sure. We play for the freshman orientation, and from that point he says, I want you to start playing in the band. So just about from the time I got there, I started working with Donald. Donald had an album called Blackbird, and it was like what I consider the beginning of what they call jazz fusion. I had been with him for a few months, maybe 5 or 6 months, and I remember getting on the elevator in the Fine Arts building at Howard. Donald was saying, this is this new stuff that's coming out. Donald was able to get a deal on Fantasy Prestige Records with the students that were in his band, and he called us the Blackbirds, and we got a chance to record separately. Even though we traveled as one band, we had 2 separate record deals. So, and that's how the Blackbirds came to be.
Well, Allan and I were always friends when we were in Howard University, and I had a little black Volkswagen, and so I picked him up every day to go to class, but we had to stop by the Shabazz to get a bean pie and some fish sandwich from the Muslim place and go to school. And so we went to class together, we hung out together, man. We just had a lot of fun doing, musical things and just dude things, you know what I mean? And so, once he, was left the Birds for a while, then I got him back. I got a chance to take him to Europe with us, and go to England and Birmingham and all those kind of places. It was always good. But I've always been blessed for people to give me instruments because I'm always giving instruments to my kids, children, students. And some guy from the National Symphony Orchestra gave me his clarinet. Now this clarinet costs about $30,000, okay? So I gave it to Allan. And he didn't play it. He opened it and he smelled it. Yeah. So we cried together, we laughed together, we had such a good time, man. And you know, we had eaten up the food and we cooking and going out and doing stuff like that. But like on Sundays, because I have a gospel choir, male chorus, I'd bring him to church with me, man. He'd play, and I'd play piano with my choir. So it was a really wonderful thing. And we did an off-Broadway musical called Fried Chicken and Latkes, and that's me and Allan. I'm playing piano, he's playing saxophone.